Welcome back to Pop Culture Explosion. I'm Mike, and I'm here with Paul.
Here at Pop Culture Explosion, we watch a movie about a man, his estranged daughter, and other passengers becoming trapped in a speeding train during a zombie outbreak in South Korea. Mike, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about Train to Busan.
Train to Busan. Now, I did watch this movie probably about a year ago, and a few weeks ago, you sent me a message, or someone did, bringing this back up on my radar.
Who could that be? Must have been
Mike.
drum roll, me.
Right.
I was just blown away by this movie. It was, I need character development. Well, first of all, this is a 2016 drama disaster. It's a South Korean movie, and it was on Netflix. I did a search, like, what are the top 10 zombie movies on Netflix? And this was the number one that popped up there. So, I need character development. And this movie did that. Because a lot of the zombie movies that we watch don't have a lot of that, right? Because it's just run and gun type of thing. But here we got this father and daughter combo, and they give you some backstory. They give you, the character development, and then they drop them in the middle of this, epidemic crisis thing here, and then it's off to the races.
Seok Woo, he's the father. He's a businessman. He's in finance. He does stock, and he works 12, 14 hours a day. He's a single dad. His mom is basically raising his daughter, and I think his love language is, I need to provide for my kid, where the daughter's going, I just kind of want my dad. That's it. If we don't need money. I just want my dad. And just to share how clueless he is, at the beginning on his daughter's birthday, he buys her a video game that she already has.
Way to pay attention there, Dad.
Right. And there's another character, Sang-won. He's the quintessential blue-collar worker. He has a wife. She's pregnant. I mean, literally, she's about to pop. And he immediately dislikes Seok Woo. And it is so apparent. And I liked how his character develops into respecting Seok Woo and actually becoming an ally of that character.
Well, speaking of character development, the Seok Woo character, the dad, it's revealed to you basically the reason that he's separated from the wife is because he, as the daughter said, you only care about yourself, right? And he goes from that sort of self-absorbed person into, his character arc through the movie as a person who's throwing themselves on the line for others. And
yes.
I thought that was an important thread throughout the movie.
Agreed. He started making some real self-sacrifice to save others, which was really commendable. Now, the other piece is there are probably a couple groups in this movie. We have, of course, Seok Woo and his daughter, Sang-won, his wife. We had two sisters who were probably in their 60s. And just watching that relationship and that whole thing with them, that was heartbreaking. We have this group of high school students in the sports team. They were fun. I liked them. They all died, but they died well.
Yeah, they went down swinging. I mean, they jumped in the fray and
they jumped right. They jumped right to the plate. Okay, any more puns we can do for this? And yes, they went down swinging. And of course, there was the tycoon jerk of a businessman that when you first met him, I just wanted him to die a painful, horrible death.
Oh, but he lingered through the whole movie.
Oh my God, he lingered, but again, he definitely had his comeuppance. Now there was another scene that I thought was really interesting. You had our main group, the father, daughter, husband, pregnant wife, and they're going through this one bus compartment, and the business the business guy was basically just screaming at them, and the entire bus and that train kicked them out, and they had their comeuppance. And that was, I don't like to root for people to die, but I didn't feel so bad about that group. Now, the other thing I want to chat about is the use of practical and CGI effects. And I thought they did that brilliantly.
Yeah.
There was not an excessive amount of CGI. The majority of it was practical. There were a couple scenes where, yes, you had mass floods of zombies just pouring out. Yes, that had to be CGI. But at the end of the day, they spent more time with the practical effects, and I really found that entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks better, too.
Yeah. Now, there was one thing that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and it's strictly cultural. But the women characters in this movie, they just seem to be more like they're victims. They needed a man to protect them. They were helpless unless a man was protecting them. That really got me the wrong. That really rubbed me the wrong way. I would have liked to have seen more strength with their female characters, but again, this is a cultural thing, so I'm not going to smash them for that.
Right on. Well, now the I think one of the standout and most intense scenes was the speeding train at the end. You know, the climax of the movie. I mean, and because you had that character development, you know, this whole relationship between the daughter and the father. I mean, when that ends up happening there, it's just, man, it's just brutal. It's just heart-wrenching.
Yeah, there's some spoilers here. You know, I'm not going to say it, but yes, the ending scene was heartbreaking. You felt bad. I was really happy that, you know, if I had to choose two characters surviving this movie, it would have been those two, and I was really happy that they did.
Yeah, and you know, I guess you know, this was the closest I've ever come to crying in a zombie movie. You know, that's where you know you have some good character development.
Yeah. So Mike, what are your final thoughts on Train to Busan?
It's probably one of the best zombie movies I've seen in forever. Certainly, you have the classics, but this, because there's so many of these kind of movies, you really have to stand out, and I think that this did it well. And I agree. You know, the reason that this was on a top 10 list at the top, I could totally agree with that, and I would recommend it. I would give this a 9.
Yeah, this was a really good movie. If you are a subscriber of Netflix, you enjoy a good zombie flick. You are dealing with subtitles. You'll have to get past that, but it's a rich story. Great characters. The makeup was amazing. There were several really stressful scenes, and at no point in time did I feel like my intelligence was insulted. So yeah, I'm going to give this movie a solid 9. It's not that long of a movie. There's a really good payoff at the end, and you will not be disappointed. So Mike, would that be? Hey, what do you think of this? Did you enjoy a review? Are you interested in seeing this movie? If you are, hey, let's continue the conversation down below in the comment section. If you like this video, smash that like button. If you didn't care much for it, it's okay. You can hit dislike. We won't cry. Well, maybe you will cry a little bit. But for future content, hit the subscribe button. So Mike, with that being said, peace out.